Hello and what is up YouTube, this is Menas Grande here with rapid fire rankings and reviews, episode 1, Love, Death and Robots. Let's get into it. 18. Beyond a Killer Rift. Floating in space, no way home, hundreds of thousands of light years away. Loops around, it's one of those paradox episodes, but ultimately there are no stakes and it wasn't very easy to enjoy. 17. Alternate histories. Ultimately it hinges on the fact that just about everybody hates Hitler. It's somewhat dry humor at the very beginning, getting progressively funnier, but it's not the best they have to offer. 16. Fish Night. Great visuals, great father-son dynamic, they really expanded on their relationship, however just not much to it substance-wise. Wasn't nuanced, wasn't much philosophy behind it. 15. Ice Age. Conceptually interesting, but it didn't explore its full potential. It's kind of a third perspective on mankind's development and how far will we go. But then again, it didn't go too far with that train of thought and ultimately left us with not much of an experience. 14. Sucker of Souls. One of the more interesting art styles, slightly strange but it will grow on you. The characters had interesting dynamics and they had an interesting relationship between them, really bounced off of each other, but ultimately one of those pointless episodes that doesn't really challenge the mind so much, especially in an artistic series such as this one. 13. Dope battle suits, crazy action scenes and a badass grandma. What more could you ask for except a better developed storyline? It served well for maybe a pilot episode, but could it be more? I think so. Do you agree? 12. The Dump. Hilarious hillbillies, monstrous mutts and wacky yarn spinning. Who doesn't love a dumpster dog? Join this redneck in his storytelling quest to protect his home. 11. Blind Spot. Join these cyborgs as they try to stage a heist on an armored vehicle equipped to high heavens with a bunch of high-tech defense systems. Can they overcome? Will they overcome? I don't think they did. At least not the episode anyway. 10. The Secret War. Join these Russian soldiers as they fight the forces of evil, dark magic and plunder villages, I guess. Worth the ride. Interesting father-son dynamic. I enjoyed the episode. Hope you do too. 9. Good Hunting. Chinese mythology meets British Revolution meets underground robot sex slaves and dope ass machines. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing, mate? Watch it now. 8. Lucky 13. Made me feel emotions for a machine. Damn, this was good. Action packed. I loved it. Unlucky ships that end up being extremely lucky. If you like space campaigns, this is the one for you. 7. When the Yogurt Took Over. Strange pick for number 7, I must give you that. Primarily narrated, but it also adds a nice feel. The concept is fantastic. Philosophically, it really opens some questions, so I enjoyed it. I hope you do too. It was fantastic. 6. Zima Blue. Humble beginnings, humble endings, and fantastic journeys in between. A very gracious nod to artificial intelligence and some dope ass art. Best character development in the entire season, in my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think. 5. Shapeshifters. Strange ass concept, but that's what we love. Throw some werewolves, throw some campaigning camaraderie in there, and ultimately you get what seems to be a badass fight scene. I loved it. Gripping, thrilling, worth the watch. 4. One of the more wacky episodes in this season, it was by far the most outrageous. The art style was fantastic, I enjoyed the storyline, and for not a single second was my attention drawn out. Yes, they did it well. Yes, I enjoyed it. I know you guys will too. 3. Sunny's Edge, definitely chosen as episode 1 for a reason. It was captivating, they had a great backstory, a fantastic main character. The fight scenes were pretty epic. I do believe they could have done a bit more with the monster's weight and the body parts being locked off. There wasn't much gravity to those creatures. Other than that, all in all, it was a treat. 2. In the runner-up spot, we have 3 robots. This 3 robot cast had an insane dynamic going. The charisma just sort of bounced off of each other. I enjoyed the perspective of these robots being on a field trip, looking back at mankind's greatest achievements and downfalls. It was sort of satire of the human race. At the end of the day, I take it as though they exposed the humility behind the human race. Despite achieving so much, our humble origins speak volumes. And ultimately, will we ever create something that far surpasses us? 1. A helping hand. The ironic title, The Outer Space Setting, really appealed to the physicist in me. Using your own severed limb to readjust your course in outer space to try and get back to your spaceship. So you made some nitty-gritty decisions, and I love that. Some might complain that it ended too quickly. Yes, that is a flaw, but they controlled the pace with the time they had to work with. Did not lose my attention for a single second, and ultimately that's what you're aiming for in a creative medium. My personal favorite. What is yours? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll give you the rundown. down. Trying to rank all of these episodes from worst to best was no small feat. It took a simple algorithm ranking them in different categories, having to neglect some because they ultimately aimed for different things as episodes. With that being said, my main meter for success had to be around my own enjoyment factor, and this is going to be something subjective. What you guys prefer I might not have, but ultimately I believe we can all agree that this anthology was well worth the ride, and in my case it was well worth the binge watch at 2 AM laughing like a nutcase. So I guess that says something. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you around.